Hello everyone and welcome to a slice of my life. It is mail call time. I'm not entirely sure what's in this package, but I guess there's only one way to find out. Let's go. It is the Olight OPen 2. I like the fact that this logo here looks like it's handwritten because, you know, it is a pen, so it really fits the theme. But it's not just a pen, it is a pen with a flashlight. Now, I'd like to start off by telling you guys that this is not a sponsored video. I was scrolling through the Olight website just the other day and this caught my eye. And I immediately thought, well, I carry a pen every day. I also carry a mini flashlight every day. What if I had one single product that had both of those items? So on the back, is some description here and some of the features. It's Olight's first pen with a light. 2-in-1 product is separable as two parts. It has a built-in 110 mAh rechargeable battery. Bolt action type. Yep, that's what suckered me into this as well, because you guys know I like my bolt action pens. And the rest of the specs are here. It goes from 5 lumens all the way up to 120 lumens. Oh wow, it actually comes with a USB charging cable as well. Oh, and refills too. Oh, I'm pleasantly surprised. Alright, time to open up this box with a nice pull tab here. Okay, this is cool. I've not yet experienced an Olight product in this kind of packaging. Got a manual here. We'll take a look at the manual in a while, but let's just get my first impressions down because this is the kind of product that I will have to carry on my EDC in order to truly experience. There we go. So the refill dropped out from the side. I see. So the refill's right here. So it's an Olight branded refill, by the way. And then we have the USB cable that's being wrapped all around. Oh, very, very neatly packaged. Okay. Shout out to the packaging. Really well done. Let's take this out. So it feels like this is anodized aluminum. I am not entirely sure yet because I haven't delved that deep into the specs, but this is looking quite good. It's a little bit thicker than the current pen that I'm using, and that is the Urban Survival Gear TORCHLIGHT Bolt V2. This is a mini version, by the way, and right off the bat we could see the size difference. The OPen 2 is about an inch longer than the TORCHLIGHT Bolt V2 Mini. I mean, that is to be expected because this is a mini version anyway. But let's talk about the thickness or the outer diameter of this. And I know the lighting's not the best, but there we go. Hopefully this gives you guys a better gauge. It's kind of like a AA battery, I must say. So bolt action, here we go. That's cool. And if you guys are wondering why I'm using my left hand, it's because I'm left-handed, people. But I think for right-handers, yeah, this is actually more intuitive for right-handers. This is actually the opposite direction of what is on my TORCHLIGHT Bolt. You got to push this down to the left when you want to engage the pen, and then to close it up, you move it back to the right. But then for this, when you want to engage the pen, you shift it to the right, and then to close it up or retract it, it's to the left. Interesting. Nice pocket clip here. It's held in by what looks to be a proprietary screw. I don't know how to remove that, or if that is even removable. And it looks like there's a switch up here that might be for this light. Oh wow. So how do I change the modes then? Oh, long press is temporary. So if it's a long press, then once I let go, it turns off. But if it's a quick tap, it stays on. Cool. Maybe it's a double click. Wait, hold on, let me see. Wow. Okay. What? Wow. Okay, wow, that's blinding. That was blinding, guys. I'm sorry. Now, it looks like I have to refer to the manual to find out how I'm going to switch modes, because there are 4 brightness levels, right? So, yeah, guys, I failed the first note. It says, before first use, please fully charge the product. Clearly, I did not. But I'm not able to find out how I can change modes. Am I missing something here, guys? I don't see it. I guess I'm gonna have to be messing with this thing quite a bit before I really truly understand it, but let's just explore it a little bit more. So I have to unscrew this part in order to access the pen ink refill. Yep, it's lubricated. So that's the pen ink refill. And you guys know I'm gonna be exploring if other ink refills actually fit, but this one is quite short, I have to say. It's quite straightforward in here. So the spring is actually going around the nib of the pen. Nothing else inside the front half of it, or the I guess the tip cap. That's rather straightforward. And then we'll just unscrew this portion over here and split these two halves. There we go. So this is empty. There's nothing in here. So this can function as a pen on its own. Alright, that's quite cool. Okay, this is really small, but there's no pocket clip on this part. And then there's a clip here with the USB charging port, and it looks to be very lubricated. I'll be wiping that down in a while. With a pocket clip here and a side-facing LED. Okay, so that's that. I'm just really interested in finding out how to change the modes. So I guess I'm gonna have to spend more time with this so that I could really just kind of experience it. So far, I'm quite impressed. The machining quality is quite good. It is anodized, so it does have a nice smooth feel to it. But these slots here definitely provide some grip. That's my first impression here. I don't know if you guys actually hold your pens higher up, or do you hold your pen really close to the tip? For myself, I hold it kind of like that, like half an inch away from the tip. That's how I feel the most comfortable, I guess, when I'm holding a pen. This bolt here is like somewhere in the middle of the body itself, not at the top, where I guess some people might be used to. And it's going to be a bit of a different experience for me as well, because if I were to compare it directly to, say, the TORCHLIGHT bolt, see, for a pen like this, the clip itself is the bolt, but here the clip and the bolt are two separate things on the pen. Because, you know, I've heard a lot of feedback about bolt action pens that actually have the bolt and the pocket clip as two separate items, for left-handers in particular, where if you actuate the pen and you want to start writing, either the bolt or the clip is going to bite into your hand, because these are generally, I guess, designed for right-handed users. I don't know if it's going to be apparent on this until I start using it, so I'm going to be spending some time with this before I actually let you guys know what I really think about it. But I gotta say, the first impressions are actually quite cool. I'm quite impressed so far. That light was really blinding, and I'm sorry guys, at this point of time I don't know how to change to all 4 different modes. So I'm going to be putting this on my EDC and using this throughout the week. Give me some time with it and I'll get back to all of you guys with my final thoughts on this thing, my verdict and all of that. Oh, it's really cold out. It's been cold like this for the past few days. I regret not wearing a jacket, but anyway, it is about 11-ish at night, and I picked this same surrounding area that I did the light test or light demonstration for the i1R2 EOS. And I thought that this would be a great place to kind of come back to, so you guys could get a better benchmark from there. I've got the aperture settings set to kind of mimic the surrounding lights in what I see in real life or real time, if that makes any sense to you. So because I'm not using the auto brightness, this means that the brightness will not change accordingly, you know what I mean? So this is to try to get the best results and to kind of best demonstrate to you guys the actual brightness of the light itself. I have the i1R2 EOS here, and I'm using this as one of the examples, or the kind of comparison I should say, because this goes from 5 lumens to 150 lumens. And also I've got my mobile phone. Now I'm using an iPhone X or an iPhone 10, and the flashlight settings apparently goes from somewhere between 12 lumens on the lowest setting all the way to 50 lumens on the highest setting. So I guess this kind of gives you a comparison of the OPen 2 versus a mobile phone LED light. And just to show you guys, I have the OPen 2 right here in my pocket. For the surrounding, I have this light here. This is some random street lamp kind of thing, and we've got some grass here, and going off to that area, it looks rather dark there. Going all the way around here, we have some bushes, and on this side it's really dark in this corner. There is a trash can here, as well as another light that's facing. And the reason why it's so dark here is because this light is no longer working, which is a good thing because we're going to use this for the demonstration. So the first thing I will show you guys is the i1R2 EOS on the 5 lumen setting. So there we go, that's the i1R2 EOS, 5 lumens. That's how it illuminates the area. Maybe we'll just focus on this area because it's more difficult to see on the other area. So that's 5 lumens. Now let's go for 5 lumens on the OPen 2. There we go. So it's the OPen 2, 5 lumens. And if you're thinking this isn't really showing up well on camera, that's because the spread of the light is a lot wider as compared to the i1R2 EOS, which has a more focused beam. See that? Now we shall compare that to the flashlight on my phone, and this is the 12 lumen setting on my phone. So you could see that the spread is relatively the same as on the OPen 2. So honestly, not much of a difference. If I kick it up a notch to, say for example, 50 lumens, this is what 50 lumens with my phone actually looks like. Okay, so at least that's something of a big contrast. See, that's nothing, and this is with the 50 lumens light. Let me just go around. There we go. Yep, so 50 lumens on my mobile device. Now with the OPen 2, this goes from 5 lumens to 20 lumens, then 60, and then 120. So I'm going to set it now to the 20 lumen settings. That's 20 lumens. And then we go around to this side. And this area. So you can see it lights up the bush here quite well on the 20 lumen setting. Now let's go to 60 lumens. Much better. Much better. And this is, even though this is just 10 lumens more than what is on my mobile device, that's way brighter. So let's over here and over here. And now let's go for 120, and then we will compare the 120 to the 150 of the i1R2 EOS. This is at 120 lumens. Wow, okay, this is quite a stark difference. Look, just illuminates the entire area. Look at that. That's quite a lot of detail that is showing up on the bushes. Here, the dark area. You can see that even though I'm holding it down, some of the light is spilling onto this bench here. So really bright, illuminates everything very well. And now let's compare that to the i1R2 EOS on the 150 lumen settings. That's the 5 lumen setting. There we go, 150 lumens. See the focus beam, it's really different. This beam, right? So what I'll do next is probably just put this camera down somewhere here so that the shot is going to be a static shot, and then I'll be just kind of giving you guys a demonstration and shining into the darkest area, which is this bush right here, so that we have a more stable comparison between all the different light sources. In my opinion, the coolest feature of the OPen 2 is the ability to separate these completely, so have a dedicated flashlight and a dedicated pen. Now what that means is that it offers you the ability to write even in the dark, because you could simply just detach or separate the flashlight out, and then you could possibly bite the flashlight part with your mouth and you write with your hands, or you could clip it on your shirt pocket, and if you don't have a shirt pocket, you could clip it onto your collar, and basically that acts as a static light that is attached to your body, and that leaves your hands free so that you can write and scribble anything you want. I've now got the flashlight half of the pen on my collar. The other half is right here in my hand, and it's a standalone pen just in case you guys needed that proof. I mean, it's quite a no-brainer. But this allows me to also demonstrate to you guys that this can be used as a clip-on flashlight. So in the event that you're in a place, for example, with very low visibility and you need lights, but yet you still need both your hands free, you could clip it on your collar and you could basically walk around and illuminate the path right ahead of you. Allow me to give you guys a demonstration. Let me set this to 60 lumens, and then I'll flip the camera around and I'll basically just walk. And as I turn around, you could see that it's illuminating the path in front of me. Like, you could see the shadow that's being cast by my hand. So it basically allows you to illuminate the path in front of you while keeping your hands free, and I think that's a really awesome feature. Hopefully this gives you guys a pretty good idea on some of the capabilities and the overall awesomeness of the Olight OPen 2. It is starting to drizzle now, so I'm going to return home and take a quick shower because I am getting a little bit wet. So I'll catch y'all back in the main usual framing. I just saw some lightning. Bye guys. I have spent the last 7 days with the Olight OPen as my daily pen. I wanted to call it my daily driver, but I think that the term is used for mobile devices. I may be completely wrong. But yeah, basically I EDC'd the OPen 2 for 7 days straight. And I have my thoughts all gathered and ready to share with you guys, the pros and the cons. So the first thing that I want to talk about is using this pen in my left hand. I have to say that I'm surprised nothing is biting into my left hand. Even if I do have it twisted this way, honestly speaking, the clip is much higher up than I thought it would be, and so this thing doesn't bite into my hand at all. So that's a really pleasant surprise. I was kind of worried that maybe the bolt would be in my hand or the clip would be in my hand, but none of that actually happened. I had a completely fine handling experience with this. And next, of course, is how to cycle through the different brightness levels of the light itself. And I know that I've showed it in the demonstration section, but this is how you do it. Single click to turn it on. This is at 5 lumens. Then from here, every time you press and hold it, it'll cycle up to the next brightness, and once it hits 120 lumens, the next cycle would bring it back down to the not the 5 lumens but the 20 lumens setting. So it goes in 5, 20, 60, 120, then it goes back to 20, 60, 120, 20, 60. You get the drift, right? So here we go. This is 5, hold it, it goes to 20, hold it, it goes to 60, and then now this is 120. And then when I cycle it back, this is 20, 60, 120, and then just a single click to turn it off. Now just to show you guys the cycling speed, turn it on, and I'm just going to hold it and I'll let it cycle all the way through. Five lumens is only when you give it a single click and you turn it on for the first time. This is the 5 lumens mode. If you click and hold it, it will turn on. This is I guess a toggle mode now. When I let it go, it'll just turn off versus a quick single click like that. Now the next thing I must say is that this gets a bit warm when you start using it at the higher lumen outputs over an extended period of time. Do take note though that this is highlighted in the instructions manual. One of the warnings was to make sure that you don't turn this on when it is covered by a piece of fabric, because that will generate a lot of heat, and they don't actually specify what happens beyond that, but I can only picture that it's not going to be a very nice experience. Going back to the topic of handling the pen, the overall ergonomics is actually quite okay. Even though this has a wider outer diameter than the pen that I'm used to, this actually is quite comfortable. I didn't struggle to get used to the size of this thing, so yeah, that's completely fine. It is a little bit slippery, more slippery than the pen that I'm used to, simply because of the anodized finish. Now I did mention that the knurling here, or the milled pattern here, will offer a little bit of grip, and while it does, personally I hold my pen much lower, and so the part that I actually hold the pen is way more slippery than it is up here. So that could be just my personal way of handling the pen. Another thing I want to point out is that because this is actually anodized or powder coated, there will be areas that will start to chip off over time. One of the most common areas definitely is the bolt itself. The coating on the bolt is visibly wearing out. You could see it is, well, maybe it's not showing up on camera nicely, but there's a scratch right there. And overall, basically, because I've been playing with this bolt so much, the coating here is starting to wear off to the point that it's not as vivid or as, as saturated as compared to the rest of the pen. That's completely a user fault, because I've been just actuating this for no particular reason. I mean, come on guys, once you have a bolt action pen, you know you're going to be doing this all the time. Another area, of course, is around the clip, because this area is the most exposed area when this is sitting in your pocket. So you can see that, especially along the edges, it's got some chips, some scratches, and I guess you could say that this is definitely unavoidable. Next, let's talk about the pen ink before we talk about the ink refill. So I've got a stack of post-its here. This pen ink in the OPen, or I should say Nightcore's ink refill. So this is the extra ink refill, right? This is a water-based ink. And one of the things mentioned in the manual is that when you notice that your pen ink is kind of like fading, you want to hold it and swing the pen so that you kind of coax the ink towards the nib of the pen. So I don't know how that works because I'm no pen ink expert, but yeah, I'm just gonna do some scribbles here for you guys to see. This is a water-based ink, and the way it handles is very much like, I guess, a Pilot G2 pen, just smoother, you know, because Pilot G2 ink is kind of like gel-based. This is water-based. They do mention that if you write on softer surfaces, then that's going to result in thicker lines. But you can see right here that the ink is quite saturated. It's quite thick there. It's not yet drying. I don't know if you guys are able to see it on camera. Now I'm just going to compare and contrast this to my TORCHLIGHT Bolt V2 Mini, and in here is a Fisher Space Pen ink cartridge, and you can see the difference. Sorry, I know that part was like kind of iffy, but let me just... Of course, the obvious difference is that the Space Pen ink is blue ink, but the Olight ink is black. But you could kind of see the difference where this is actually like standard ink-ish, and this is water-based ink. So hopefully this gives you a clear visual representation of the kind of ink you're going to be outputting from the pen. Guys, I don't know what is wrong with me. It's really late, so I do apologize. I know I'm just keeping that in because I think it's hilarious. So I don't know why I took this pen out of frame, but now we're going to be talking about the ink refill. So let me just get this Fisher Space Pen ink cartridge out so that you guys can compare and contrast and just see this directly for yourselves. This is the difference in the height of the ink cartridges. So this one's pretty short, I must admit. Oh wait, there's an ink smudge here. What the heck? What? I've got some on my finger now. Okay, well, that's that, I guess. And at this juncture, I have to confess that I don't have any experience in other or very many other ink refill cartridges. So maybe Parker makes an ink refill of this length. I'm not so sure. But the Olight ink refill is just about 3 inches long, so I was not able to fit my Fisher Space Pen ink into the OPen 2. So that's that with the ink cartridge. I'm gonna put this away. Another awesome feature is the USB cable. I think that this is a really well made USB cable. This is thick, it feels solid, and I love the fact that they have these dust covers for both ends of the USB cable connectors. And that leads me to saying that I love the fact that this is rechargeable via USB-C. I wish like my i1R2 EOS was USB-C. Quite a number of the tech gadgets that I'm using now all feature USB-C ports, so therefore I could just share cables. Now is the time that I'm going to bring the manual in, because there are a couple of things that I want to point out here that seem a little bit strange, right? A little bit funny. Let me just get to the right page, guys. There we go. So there are a bunch of warnings here, but let's first look at this part about charging. And right here under this note section, point number 2 says plug in the USB cable again when it is full charged. I'm sure they mean fully charged. And the charging indicator will still be red for about 30 seconds. So I don't know if that's pertaining to the point above where it's talking about the first charge, or do you have to do that every single time? But if I have to, and if that's part of the correct usage of the pen, then that's a little bit cumbersome. But you know, it's one of those things where I guess I could just ignore without knowing the actual impact it would cause to the light, or the battery I should say, over an extended period of time. The third point here gives you a bit more specifications on the charging. That's 4.2 volts, 200 milliamperes, and it can be fully charged in 55 minutes. Now I gotta say that I didn't really keep track of how long it took to charge or fully charge the light, but at least there is a battery indicator, and once the battery level hits 5%, then this light will only be able to function in the 5 lumens mode. If you try to use any higher lumen settings, it just won't happen. And that's basically the indicator telling you it's time to charge up the light. So a couple more things to point out here. Like I mentioned earlier, do not cover the flashlight with objects. The heat generated by a flashlight may cause burning or even cause unexpected disasters. Now this point here, I don't really know what this is because I don't really have much experience in this, but this product adopts PWM dimming, which may also cause noise when placed close to the radio. The clip is suitable for clamping on objects not more than 3 millimeters thick. Now, this is where I put the instruction manual away, and let's talk about this clip right here. I think that this clip might be the biggest flaw of the entire pen. I must say that it is a very, very stiff pocket clip. Possibly the stiffest pocket clip I've experienced on, I guess you could call an EDC item so far. Now this, yeah, you could get it to open up a little bit, but there's very, very little flex, and you need to really assert some dominance on this thing just so that you could get it to open up a little bit. This means that I have never successfully inserted this pen into any pocket with a single hand. Never at all. I even struggled to use two hands to kind of put it into a pocket. Like, there's no elegant way. Let's just use this elastic organizer panel to illustrate this situation. So one hand, right? If this is your pocket and you're slipping the pen into your pocket, guys, it's never gonna work. Look, let's try that again. It's never gonna work. So imagine just trying to slip your hand into your pocket while the other hand's just trying to lift up the clip. Like, there's no real elegant way, guys. And mind you, I only got that because I've been practicing with this for a week. On the way out, it's completely fine. It's just, I don't know why, but on the way in, it's just so cumbersome. Now, there were many times when I was trying to insert this into my pocket and I accidentally clicked the button right on top, and then it turns on the flashlight. So every single time I put it into my pocket, I would always have to peek into my pocket again just to make sure that the light is not on. So that's also another thing about this pocket clip that I don't really enjoy. I don't know if there's a way to loosen this thing. I don't know if there's a way to make this a little bit more flexible. So of course, on the other side of the same coin, this means that once you get this clipped on, for example, to a pocket or on a loop, it is not going to come off easily. And thus, for me, this is the biggest flaw of this pen. I want to be able to single-handedly insert this pen into my pocket and pull it out comfortably, but yet at the same time feel secure enough knowing that this is not going to fall out of my pocket or slip out of my pocket. Now that I've said that to you guys, I want you to imagine what kind of a struggle it was to clip the light onto my collar to give you guys a demonstration. Okay, well, don't do that. I'm just joking, okay? But it was a struggle, just take my word for it. And so yeah, I'll say it again. This is, or the pocket clip is, the biggest gripe I have about this product. Now, I paid a total of about 68 Singapore dollars for this, and my verdict is that it's worth that $68. However, if you are someone who really is very particular about the pocket clip tension, then this might be a complete deal breaker for you. But for me, in my opinion, this is actually pretty awesome. I personally don't think I'll be using this as an EDC pen and a flashlight because I'm already so used to my standard everyday carry, but this is definitely a viable product if, for example, I wanted an ultra light carry. Or I might just put this into a bag and then leave it there, because then I'll have a pen and a flashlight in that bag. Whenever I want to grab it, I don't have to think about it. I'll just grab it and go. You know what I mean? And that's my verdict on the Olight OPen 2. Finally, as I wrap up this video, I want to share with you guys that I've been actually talking to Olight for quite some time now, and I have good news to share. I have a discount code that gives you 10% off your purchase items. Now, I gotta be honest here, this would not have been possible if not for you guys' support, if not for you guys watching my videos on such a frequent basis. So thank you, all of you. I guess I'm just really happy that I have something to give back to all of you guys, but there are some prerequisites in order for that to happen. You have to use the link that I'll be putting in the description box down below. Next, use the coupon code in the description box down below as well. Now, here's the caveat. You're not able to type out the coupon code. Yes, it is my name, BENKOH, with a space in between. But if you try to type that in into the coupon code text field, it would not register any space bar entries. So all you gotta do is just copy and paste the coupon code in the description box down below. Ben space KO with a space, and then just paste it into the coupon code text field and then apply it. Make sure that you use that link though, because that's the referral link, and that lets Olight know that you guys are getting stuff through my channel. And for full transparency, I do enjoy a small kickback every time a purchase is made through my link. You guys get to enjoy a 10% discount. I get to enjoy a small kickback. It's a win-win situation. So yeah, why not, right? From time to time, Olight does conduct some flash sales and things like that. So my coupon code will be valid as long as Olight is not running any other campaigns or events on their website. And that is this slice of my life, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you're new to the channel and you're enjoying the content, a sub would be nice, and make sure that you hit the bell. Another way to support the channel would be to join me over on Patreon. Once again everyone, this is the Olight OPen 2, and I'll see you in the next slice.